Thank you so much for your dedication and how much you love the show. We feel it, I feel it, and it's so appreciated. So thank you.
I want you to take me out.
Hello, hello. My name is Nigeria Chambers of Big Go Belt Media Queen. It is a pleasure to talk to you.
Hello.
Hello, hello. How are you doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm so grateful that we get to actually do this.
My God.
Finally.
Yes, yes, yes. I remember getting the opportunity to check the season out a little earlier, and I just was just like,
It's a
if I
lot.
don't get to talk to Krys,
It's a lot to
I, I'm
take
going to
in.
I'm going to go out there and go do something. Okay. Now listen, I'm gonna be frank about two things this season. I've checked the whole thing out, so I'm just gonna say
Hit me
this
with
right now.
it.
When you got shot, I said throw the whole show away. Throw the whole show away. I was first of all, I was sad. And I was thinking about like the dualities here, kind of like, all right, this kind of makes like a good storyline between the two of them there. But I'm like, no, hell with that. You're not about to take my favorite character. I'm sitting here contemplating like, do I keep watching? Like, I don't
How
know,
could they
but
do this?
how
Yeah,
could
I
they
know.
do this? I was like, she's been so devoted to the show. I mean, she's family. What are they doing? I just want to know, just at that very moment when you read that in the script, what was just your initial thought?
I'm gonna give you real inside baseball here. There was a lot of back and forth about do we kill Danielle? Do we not kill Danielle? And I was on the fence. I think that there is something so glorious about really just having the guts wrenched out of you. I think about Ned Stark in season one of
Yep.
Game of Thrones. I think about so many incredible characters who have died too soon.
Yep.
So I was sort of thinking, like, let's do it. Let's blow her up in a blaze of glory. Let's have her go out like Tracy and Gordo. And then after talking to Matt and Ben, our showrunners, they said, you know what, we can't do it. We just can't. We can't bring ourselves to kill Danielle. And so the masochist in me was like, let's kill her. But then, I'm like, I love Danielle. And I also love these people. I love that I get to work 25 minutes away from where I live with people who are good and sweet and send welcome home presents to me and the baby. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's a double-edged sword. I think I'm glad she lived, but I'm also kind of wishing they had killed her.
Oh wow. Hey, listen, and then if that's the case, they had no choice but to name Goldilocks after you. That's just would have
Yeah.
been the change of the parallel
Yeah.
universe here. And then the second thing here, which is just it's just funny that I'm even going to say this, but who cares? 'Cause I was thinking this the entire time watching. So obviously we know that the show progresses in these time jumps, right? And I'm just like, oh, another season, another time jump. Danielle's gonna look the same. I am very curious. What is your thoughts or communications with the prosthetic and makeup team where they're like, we need to age Danielle, and they're like, well, actually, well,
First of all,
we don't actually
first of
have
all,
to.
you know that black don't crack. Okay. So I'm like, my mom looks like she's 35. I do not need to look 106. So there was a lot of push pull about that too. I think I want to maintain true to the story. And ultimately, we have to believe that Danielle has not just aged in years, but also gotten wiser, gotten older, gotten more mature, and has a stronger foundation on who she is.
Yeah,
So for me, I worried less about walking with a limp or having a hump or the sort of like archetype things and stereotype things that you would imagine for an aged person. And I more sort of brought the wisdom and experience to her as a core of who she is,
yeah,
more so than the physicality of who she is. Ultimately, there's always going to be a critic and someone who says we did this wrong and she's not old enough or she's too old. For me, I think um, it makes me happy when people talk about us, and if you're not being talked about, then you're definitely not doing it right.
that's
So
right.
I, in the end, am really proud of the way that Danielle has progressed over the years. I think she's aged beautifully and gracefully.
Absolutely, absolutely agreed. She's given so much to NASA, just entirely the space programs across the world, the unified space programs, and we see at the end of this season that a type of emotion we have not ever seen with her, and that's the one with her being able to hold her granddaughter for the first time after being rolled out in a wheelchair, and I was just like, there she go. And now
Yeah.
she back, put her back in the game, coach. Can you talk about what did it mean to Danielle to have that moment, and then ultimately looking forward to the possibilities and predictions for next season? She's given so much to space. She's earned every accolade possible at this rate, and she realizes how much she's given up from her family by doing so. Do we see her exploring space or even any type of professional occupation of that sort when we
Mhm.
get to 2012?
I think Danielle does what so many women, so many mothers are doing every single day.
Yeah.
They're making four pieces of toast, giving the nicest toast to dad and the two second nicest toast to the kids, and eating the ugliest inbred burnt toast for themselves. Um, I think that that level of sacrifice comes very naturally to women and mothers.
Yeah.
And so I think that Danielle's duty and her diligence to the space program, I saw in my grandmother, who was certainly not an astronaut. She was a maid and later became a nurse. So I come from very humble beginnings of women who worked their asses off to make sure that the folks in their families were taken care of. And even if it meant that they went hungry so that their kids could have something to eat, then they did it. So Danielle's duty and her loyalty to the program and to her family, it is boundless. And unfortunately, that also means that Danielle has sacrificed herself so much that she's left with very little. I mean, we see her in season 4, and she's got these D-mails back home of Corey saying, "We need you. We miss you. Can you at least send us a video?" We see Isaiah reaching out saying, "I need you. I miss you. Can you at least send a video?" So she's given so much from her cup that her cup is bare bones, it's dry on the inside. So I think that it was so glorious, that final moment of Danielle getting to see the fruits of all that hard labor. She's worked so hard to have this relationship with Corey and this relationship with Isaiah and raise this kid up and be the mother in his life that he doesn't have. So getting to hold that grandbaby, it's too much. And I love that that moment didn't really have words. It was just sort of
Yeah.
the culmination of all of that hard work. She finally gets a little sweet relief. I was very happy to see that for Danielle. And as far as season 5 goes, your guess is as good as mine. Our producers constantly confuse us and leave us guessing. So, I hope to see Danielle continue in the space program, as we've seen with Ed. A person who's got years on them can still absolutely participate.
Yeah.
But what her future looks like, your guess is as good as mine.
All right, all right. Well, listen, we're wrapped there. I just want to quickly say congratulations also to yourself in parenthood. You have a
Thank you.
beautiful child. And of course, I've been watching along even through the strike. But so excited to finally talk to you about this season. And looks like we'll have to be doing this a lot more because I don't want the show to ever end. That's just what I'm gonna put in the atmosphere, okay?
Najib, thank you so much for your dedication and how much you love the show. We feel it, I feel it, and it's so appreciated. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Means so much. You have a good rest and blessed rest of your day, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Absolutely.
I do this.